Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, I should say. Welcome to Dover International Speedway. On behalf of all the employees here at Speedway, we're honored to host all of you here today, as well as our partners with FEMA and DEMA. This last year has been trying for all of us, and it's something that we are happy to do. It was several weeks ago we were discussing, a few of us, how best we could help the community with the ongoing efforts to fight the pandemic. And we started talking, and it came to us, we realized, I guess, that we're centrally located in the state of Delaware. So we thought what best to make the offer and put it out there to host in some form or fashion and help in any way we could. Over the last year, we have helped with the Food Bank of Delaware to distribute over 1 million pounds of food. We have also partnered with Bay Health to do COVID-19 testing sites. And now we find ourselves coming full circle working with both DEMA and FEMA to deliver vaccinations to our residents here in Delaware. So we find that very rewarding. We're very appreciative of all the efforts of everybody out here today. The weather is trying, but everybody's working through it as best they can. You know, I had one thought as I was driving in this morning, coming into the Speedway. You looked out over the Speedway property and you see all the tents, the activity, everybody working, all the hustle going on, and it reminded us of hosting events here at the Speedway and trying to get back to that place. And we hope that through this process with the vaccinations that it will get us back to some place of normalcy where we can share activities with family and friends and do those things that we're used to doing. So with that, I'm very grateful for everybody being here, very grateful for all the partnerships we have. And at this point, I'd like to introduce Governor John Carney.
Thank you very much, Jim, and thank you to the Speedway for allowing us to use your property for everything that you've done during the pandemic. I frankly can't wait for the day where we bring a NASCAR race back here and have people with smiles on their face and ready to go, and we use this facility for what it's intended. After the big anniversary last year, it'd be nice to have a race here again and bring tens of thousands of people together. I don't know if that's going to happen this spring. God willing, we will be able to do something here. I want to thank everybody for coming. This is a big day. When I was Lieutenant Governor, we used to joke all the time that as Lieutenant Governor, I was in charge of the weather. AJ, I'm not sure who's in charge of the weather, but we got to get them straight and get some good weather out here. This is, frankly, a good day, a big day for Delaware. I should just thank our team, Dr. Kyle Rattay, who's here, and her team at Public Health, AJ Shaw and his team at DEMA. Thank FEMA and all the federal employees and agencies represented at this effort here at the Speedway, and sit down. But I'd like to pave the way a little bit for Tim Files' remarks, and Tim is the lead person from FEMA who is responsible for setting this up, who's been responsible for months now working with the state of Delaware, working with AJ and his team, who I think represents with this event kind of a new approach between federal and state relations, more of a partnership, an operational partnership. We had good relations leading up to this recent development, but this is a big deal because it enables us to make our good on our second dose commitment to thousands of Delawareans, 1A, first responders, healthcare workers, everybody in that 1A population, and our seniors 65 and older, who we just vaccinated about 3 or 4 weeks ago, depending on the vaccine, to get their second dose and to fulfill that commitment. We had events, as you may remember, at Motor Vehicle in Delaware City and the motor vehicle there in Georgetown, which were 2 events that copied a similar kind of event we had at the Dover Motor Vehicle. We had some challenges, as you'll remember, but those we learned a lot. from those events, and all the people who were involved in that, Diane Hainsworth, Division of Public Health, all the paramedics who did those first doses, all the volunteers, those state employees from DelDOT who are also here and important in getting folks through the lines and up to the tents. But this is a great example of what partnership should look like. Partnership between FEMA and DEMA, our local emergency management agency, and all the folks that have made this possible. And it's really hundreds of them. And that's what FEMA is bringing to the table. I think they've got 5 separate federal agencies with employees represented here. I spoke with employees who came from as far away as medics that worked in Yellowstone National Park, in Butte, Montana, and federal employees from the West Coast, and certainly, as Tim will explain, everywhere in between. And we've been able, we'll do, and Tim can comment on this as well. Yesterday, about 1,500, 3,000 today in the days ahead. And we actually have a few doses left, which we will make available for appointments for those who need their second doses, had their first doses 22 or more days ago, which will open up later on today and tomorrow. Already we've made big strides in Delaware, getting needles into people's arms, and that has been our objective from day one. That was the direction we got from the White House Task Force months ago, and we have now delivered just about 180,000 life-saving vaccines in our state. About 50,000 of those are second doses. And so those of you who can do quick math know that we still have 130,000 of those second doses to deliver to those who receive their first dose. You can also figure out from that math that delivering additional first doses becomes more challenging every day as folks become eligible for that second dose. And so when, God willing, the Johnson & Johnson one-dose vaccine is approved for emergency use, hopefully within days or weeks, that'll be a game changer for all of us, because it won't require us, when we do give somebody their first dose vaccine, to then plan and reserve something for their second dose. That'll really be a game changer as we move down the priority list that we're doing. But this clinic, this event over these several days in partnership with FEMA is really critically important. We're going to get close to 19,000, somewhere thereabouts. I keep looking over to Dr. Rattay. When she shakes her head yes, or she looks at me with her eyes get bigger, and maybe I don't have it exactly right. So that'll take us from 50,000 who've gotten their first and second dose up close to 70,000. We'll still have a long way to go after that in finishing off those who need to get their second doses and moving down our priority list to essential workers. You should also know that unlike many states, and by the way, those numbers, 17% of our population is what's represented by those of the eligible population. That is the adults. About 750,000 Delawareans is among the strongest in the country. We're one of the top 10 among states, according to the New York Times. And that's important for folks to know, because that's been our priority. That's been our North Star from the beginning, making sure that doses are not sitting in refrigerators, are not sitting on shelves. They're getting out and into people's arms because they're life-saving vaccines. One last thing I'll say before I turn the microphone, thank Tim one more time, is to mention that we've heard and we've seen polls that indicate that there is hesitancy among too many Delawareans to getting the vaccine. And I just want everybody to understand how important it is for you individually, how important it is for your individual family members, and how important it is for the community at large to make sure that everybody accesses these life-saving vaccines. Those who are most at risk are elderly senior citizens, those 65 and older. But the rest of us know how we've been living in the months since March the 11th, when the first positive COVID-19 case was identified here in Delaware, and how important it is to get back to life more like what is usual, so we can get our businesses back online, so we can get people back to work who haven't been able to work because of COVID-19. And I know that we are going to lean into that question. Our objective overall is to get as fast as we can and fairly the distribution of these life-saving vaccines. One of our biggest challenges, maybe the biggest in all, is to make sure that the vaccine is distributed equitably, meaning that we're getting vaccines to vulnerable populations, to black and brown communities across our state, and we're really leaning into that objective and that priority, and will be in the days and weeks ahead. Again, a Johnson & Johnson one-dose vaccine will be a game changer for that as well. And so let me just wrap up my remarks by thanking our partners again from the federal government. And there's the old joke about I'm from the government and we're here to help. This time, Tim and his team came with more help than you can believe. Employees from other agencies from across the country, and enabled us to deliver the second dose to almost 20,000 Delawareans who we provided their first dose 2, 3, and 4 weeks ago. So, Tim, I want to thank you for that incredible effort, your effort individually, your partnership with AJ and his team, with all the folks that you brought in, setting up the tents, organizing the flow of traffic, and making sure that we get these vaccines into people's arms. And so I'm going to put my mask back on, and I'm going to turn this podium over to you with one more heartfelt thanks from our great state of Delaware.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Governor, and thank you, partners from all over Delaware. Today's a great day. I get the opportunity to speak on behalf of the federal employees that are here. It's really been an amazing effort to work together with the state of Delaware. We have approximately 214 to 225 federal employees, volunteer agencies, working here inside the Dover Downs Speedway. We're interfacing with the residents of the state of Delaware, and I can tell you that it's been ultimately very rewarding for this federal staff. We came here with the responsibility to establish this community vaccination center. We set it up, and the folks from Delaware have been coming and responding with kindness and grace, and it's made this very rewarding for my staff. I would like to emphasize that this opportunity to be here in Delaware, in the middle of the state, is a great opportunity to tell the story of collaboration, okay? Often we don't see collaboration at this level, but I really want to tell this story. I got introduced to Jim Hosfeld here at the Raceway through Director Shaw, and he said, hey, go out and see Jim and see if we can set up a vaccination center. So with that contact through the Delaware Emergency Management Agency, we started on a partnership with the Delaware industry that's very famous. And then we continued that partnership by working with Department of Public Health, DelDOT, and all the other agencies of Delaware to build this event and make it happen. So what we have is an example for other states to follow and for other agencies to follow in true collaboration and in endorsing a great success together. Yesterday, my team came on site. We slowly rolled out the vaccination period for the next 6 days. We accomplished about 1,500 vaccinations yesterday. We're on pace today to do 3,000 additional vaccinations. And I am encouraging my team to look at any efficiencies that we can gain over the next 24 to 48 hours to make more vaccines available for the citizens of Delaware and the residents of Delaware so that we can set a little bit of a precedence in terms of true collaboration. It's truly been an honor. I really thank AJ and the governor for the opportunity. And I really think that this is a fantastic, good news story of collaboration and cooperative effort that needs to be emulated throughout the nation. It's been an honor to be here, and I will continue to help this great state, and we'll go forward from here. There's more opportunities and more to be done, and so I stand ready to help. Governor, thank you.
And thank you once again, Tim, and to you and your team and all these federal employees who came from across the country. If there's one other thing that you can do, bring more vaccines back the next time you come, because I'm sure, particularly if we could do something like this again, that would be a big deal. So any questions from the press, be happy to answer them. We have Dr. Rattay here, AJ Shaw. Jim, again, thank you for allowing us to use this facility. We look for the day when we have a race back here again. Doing good. Pretty good today.
Do we have a sense of how far back the 1C group is being pushed at this time?
We don't. It really depends on supply. The question was, do we have a sense as to when 1C, which is more the general population, we have next in line are kind of essential employees. We're already, as I mentioned briefly, unlike most states, we're already vaccinating, have vaccinated thousands of educators, school nurses, school personnel that work with children with disabilities, teachers and educators. I went to a clinic that we had in a good partnership with Albertsons Pharmacies. They had at Dickinson High School, very well organized, and so we're doing that. So the sooner we can get more supply, I know every state, every governor's looking for more. That's why the J&J thing would be a big boost for all of us. I wish I could give you a time frame on that. Not a day too soon.
Governor, do you find it frustrating that you as the governor, you know, we like to think that we could just be like, just start yelling and screaming and say, just give us more. Like, why is this not working?
That's what mostly happens on a day-to-day. People yell and scream at me, but let me tell you, when you need your spirits lifted up, just come to an event like this. I like to come and circulate in there's a cool down period of 15 minutes after you get your shot. Talk to the people as I did at Dickinson High School on Friday night, talking to teachers, the educators, the nurses. Everybody's just delighted. The people who want the vaccine, there's an intensity of it that because they recognize that it's life-saving, number one, and number two, it's going to help them get back to a little bit back to normal, right? And you see, I'll tell you one of the most heartwarming things that I've seen, because we're focused now on those vulnerable populations, 65 and older, and we have prioritized the older seniors first. And the DMV events were a good example of it, is adult children bringing their parents in for this vaccine, helping them work through the logistics, getting them there. It just really warms your heart at a time I know when we all need that.
Are you concerned in any way that Delaware isn't or is getting its fair shake? I mean, you're competing against other governors. Do you feel like it's a level playing field? We obviously have the Biden contact, but it probably doesn't help.
No, they're allocating, as I understand it, they're allocating the doses of vaccines to the states based on the proportion of eligible adult population, right? And so, we just about every governor has wondered and questioned whether they're getting their fair share. You know, I believe that people are honest and that they're going to give you the fair share. That doesn't mean I'm not an advocate for for getting more, I am. But we need to make sure we get as fast and as fairly as possible the supply that we're getting from the federal government. And pray for the day where those numbers increase with the new approval of either the AstraZeneca thing here or a Johnson & Johnson. The Johnson & Johnson thing, single dose, it just changes the game entirely. If you think about when we first went into testing, we challenged ourselves to do 80,000 a month. The month over the holidays, the December, January month, we did 200,000. So we can, it's more time consuming, more detail in vaccinations for sure, but we could chalk up big numbers if we could get the supply.
Question for Tim, actually, FEMA, if I could. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
What sort of plans are underway to do this in neighboring states, Pennsylvania and New Jersey, if any?
We are, to emphasize the collaboration and the partnership, we're the first mass vaccination or, community vaccination center within Region 3. Currently at this time, Region 3 is planning additional vaccination centers in the Philadelphia area and also in Maryland. We're using this site to provide best practices, after action reviews, and any good techniques, tactics, or procedures to make this effective. And I can tell you the single most effective thing has been the state and FEMA partnership here has been absolutely tremendous.
Tim, while you're there, could you talk about, not just for yourself in this region, but maybe in talking to other FEMA regional directors, how difficult the past couple of weeks have been weather-wise in trying to get these kind of events, get the vaccine where it needs to go, and then also getting people to those vaccine sites given the weather conditions?
Okay, so I can't speak about the other regional administrators, but I'll tell you my story. And my story is that I brought people from all over the United States to Delaware. Those people came from Pullman, Washington. They came from California. As the governor said, Yellowstone and Montana. I brought people all over the United States. There was a time in this preparation phase where we were stuck, and the Arctic weather blasting down to Dallas, really had an impact on me saying to myself, are we going to get the staff here in time? And so we had those conversations, and it really was a matter of counting the numbers to ensure that the staff would arrive on time. So it has a tremendous impact. But the thing that, I can say that through that adversity, the people that made it here and the people that are supporting this site are absolutely fantastic. They couldn't be more enthusiastic about being here to support the state of Delaware. And truly, the folks that are coming through the vaccination center are making that very rewarding for our staff.
That's exactly right. Trying to prove that we can make things work if we have a race here, I think, go through the safety precautions. I got the message. I got it. I know you can.
One more, Governor.
Yeah, please.
What is the status of Delaware's vaccines now on the subject of just delays with weather? Did we get the shipments that we were waiting on?
Yeah, I understand we did. Dr. Rattay can probably answer that question. We got most of them today. We did. Dr. Hong, by the way, and his team, Dr. Pescator, all the folks at DPH have been doing an extraordinary job under very difficult circumstances. They've moved things around, and we're able to, I think, not miss a beat. It's fair to say with respect to that. So it was a disappointment for sure, but we're back in full order now. We just need more.
One more, if I may. You mentioned possibly opening up another day to 22 days and later who are due. Would you have to be at a specific event previously, or is it just if you're due for a second dose, you can come to that extra day.
So, please.
Thank you. So we do have some openings, in part because of the great efficiency here, and we are looking to have an announcement later today to open tomorrow morning at around 11, a link for other individuals who are looking for second doses who've had their first dose January 22nd or before. So we're really looking for those folks who have had a difficult time finding a place to get their second dose. We think that for the most part, people who got their first dose at DMV events in January have already signed up. So we want to provide an opportunity for others who've had trouble finding their second dose.
Other questions? Well, seeing none, again, I want to thank all of you for coming. Thank you for your reporting through all this. Obviously, an important message for all of us at this point is those who have some hesitancy about getting vaccinated. We would encourage them to do so, to talk to their physician, to talk to somebody that we trust. We're encouraging faith leaders, community activists to get involved in that as we work with those communities to get more vaccinations out to communities of color and vulnerable communities. And that's a very important objective for us. I'd like to close out by thanking Tim once again for this incredible effort. Our federal partners coming in, bringing a couple hundred plus federal employees to get and help us fulfill our second dose commitment to nearly 20,000 Delawareans who received their first dose 3 and 4 weeks ago at our major DMV clinics. I want to also close by thanking the Speedway again and look forward to the day when we're watching NASCAR around the track. Thank you all.